Hi guys, today I'm filming my Hit or Quit It thoughts on hauls, reviewing all the products I featured in a haul video a year ago to let you know my current thoughts on those products. And I am so sorry if my eye makeup looks messy. This is my second look of the day and my eyes will not stop watering, but I have the opportunity and I'm busy the rest of the week. And this is supposed to be the next video that goes up because I forgot to film it. Also, last month's video, I couldn't find it on my computer at first and I was so mad because there were a ton of things in there and I was like, screw it, I'm just gonna discontinue the series. But then I found it and edited it and posted it. But I thought it'd be a good time to check in to see if you guys are still interested in this. I've been doing this for years and years and years, but let me know if you're over it or if it's still interesting in some way. Now let's get into the products. So surprisingly, I only had a couple purchases and then everything else was PR. So I had purchased the Tier Mask Fit Red Cushion Foundation in 13 in Fair Ivory. And I completely used it up this year. I'm actually filming this during the first day of Amazon Prime week, but I know that, you know, Prime will come again. Tier goes on sale for a really good price on Amazon during Prime. So definitely pay attention there. I think this is a really nice cushion foundation and they have now 4 different formulas. There's supposed to be this one, which I think is good for everyone, but then there's one that's supposed to be more glowy, more matte, one new one that has a little bit more coverage. I think this is beautiful. I liked using my Real Technique sponge to blend it into the skin. It blended really quickly. It gave a great like medium coverage, really nice natural finish. It wore well on me. I do think that this is a nice product. It comes with 0.63 ounces and there is no refill cushion, which is standard for US cushion foundations, but a lot of Asian beauty brands come with a refill, but it is a reasonable price and then the sale price is even better. So not something that I'm going to go out and repurchase. I am interested in trying the new orange compact, but this is a good one. Then I have the Urban Decay Face Bond Foundation. My best shade is 3 Fair Warm. This is awesome. This is really unique. This is supposed to be a self-setting foundation, which I always think is ridiculous as an oily person. And I do still powder it, but I actually did find that, I don't know why, for some reason, I waited a little longer before I set it one day and it really does set down by itself quite nicely. And when I first applied this, I felt like, oh, I'm getting like light medium coverage, but as it sets, it almost then appears like it has more coverage. I would say that this is like a high medium and it just wears really nicely. It looks really beautiful. I highly recommend people check this out. I don't know how dry skin folks would love it. I don't think this is drying, but I'm not the best judge as I'm very oily, but really recommend that one. I would purchase the Urban Decay over the Tier, but you know, both really good products. Then I had gotten the NYX Fat Oil Slick Click in, link in my bio, a really beautiful warm nude, and mine has like a hole in it. For some reason, this one is a little bit meltier than some of the others, but this is a great warm nude shade. This has a fruity scent to it. This is very comfortable. It does give a little bit of shine, but this isn't as goopy and glossy as some other products like the Makeup by Mario Moisture Plumping Gloss Sticks or the Juvia's Place Gloss Sticks. Those are messier, so if you want a glossy finish without the mess, I think you might like these more. This also gives a good amount of pigment, but not so full on that you need to be worried about this making a mess. I really love these. I did just recently pick up some more nude shades because they added more colors to the collection, but definitely do recommend that. Then I had gotten a couple things from Persona from their TikTok shop page. So first was an eyeliner I've been wanting for a long time, but it was sold out. This is the Persona, obviously, their eyeliner in chocolate, which is a really beautiful warm brown. Now you guys, I think we could get a little bit warmer. I want someone to dupe MAC Costa Riche because that is the most gorgeous, perfect red brown. And this is similar, but not quite as red. But that one just runs on me so badly. I do think the Persona liners are nice and creamy, but they do set down and stay in place. I love this one so much. Absolute favorite. Very happy that I purchased it. And I also got the Persona blush stick in Bloom. That was a collab with Sarah Wolak. I'm not sure if this is still available or not. This is stunning. The perfect like warm light pink. This is so pretty for spring, summer. This is a really nice formula that it is creamy, but it's not necessarily dewy. I think this can go over powder, but I use it underneath. I think it just applies even better that way, but it lasts really nicely. Definitely recommend. I would love to see them add some more shades to like all of their products because Persona has such good formulas. So that was everything I bought. Now for the things that I got in PR. So I was this time last year officially approved to be an influencer on Skeepers, which means that I get to have 5 credits, which means 5 products at a time instead of 2, and a lot more products become available to me, which is awesome. Y'all know I am a Skeepers fanatic. I've been able to snag so many awesome things. So first I had gotten this Paula's Choice 2% BHA liquid exfoliant. This is a great product. I have a few in my collection and I have yet to use up a full-size bottle. So this is one of the older ones in my collection, so I'm about to get to it. But I would love to hear from you guys how often you use this. I think you can use it. No, it says at first use every other day and then up to twice a day. Okay, that's good because I feel like I have really tough skin, oily skin, acne prone skin, large pores. And I'm acne prone in the way of like, I get acne because I'm oily or if I don't wash my face or I eat poorly, but I don't break out from products. But I think that this is a nice product. The first couple times I used this, I felt like it was a little bit oily at first, but I think I just need to shake it up a little bit more. But I needed to use it longer to really say what kind of effect it has on my skin, but I've heard the best things about it and Paula's Choice as a whole. Then I get a few other skincare products. So I got a full size of the First Aid Beauty Facial Radiance Pads. I use them up. This is so nice. I really like face pads, but a lot of them are too strong for me to actually use as a toner. There's something I use as a product at night when I have no makeup on, but these, even though they have glycolic and lactic acid, I do find to be gentle enough for me to use daily as a toner, and I think that's awesome. I especially love the minis to use for travel. It makes my face feel very clean and really helps eliminate texture and be so smooth for applying makeup. I have heard a lot of makeup artists talk about using something like this before applying makeup to just have a really nice smooth clean base. And then I couldn't believe it, I was able to apply for an influencer campaign, which basically means that you have to create a video with a product that you choose. And I got on the Believe True Cream Aqua Bomb. I think it was actually the same thing with the First Aid Beauty pads as well. But you guys know this is my holy grail daytime moisturizer. It gives the perfect amount of hydration for my oily skin. This also is like a gel cream because I cannot stand something that is like sticky jelly. I don't like, but just gel, incredible. So this is so good, has a nice light fresh scent, incredible. And then I think the last thing I had gotten was a mini of the Milk Makeup Hydro Grip Set and Refresh spray. I just used this up a couple months ago. I don't like this. I think that it makes my makeup too greasy. It doesn't necessarily have like an oily finish to it. It just made me oily, so would not repurchase, but would be lovely for people that have dry skin. From Buxom, I had gotten their whole line of the Full-On Plumping Lip Glow Balms, which is exciting. I want to say there were 8 shades. I do have a lip swatch video, which I will link. I feel like I had like a smudge on my camera or something because it was not as crystal clear as I would have liked. But I have decluttered all of them and I now have just 1 shade. Before I had 4 shades, but this one that I chose to keep is Coral Crush. I love the shape of this bullet. Their new regular like cream satin lipsticks are this shape as well, which I think is amazing because you will always be able to have a point to get up in the Cupid's bow. So I really love that. So this is a very sheer but buildable. So that's after several passes, and then we'll do like this 1, 2, and that's just 2. Same classic light vanilla scent. And this is hydrating. This is smooth. It gives really pretty color. I do think that this is different than the other products they have in their line. However, this is not necessarily a formula for me. I prefer something that is just a little bit more pigmented or a little bit more glossy. I am going to hang on to this one for comparison purposes, but I say just pass on this. But if you are interested, these are available on Flip for a really good discount. Flip has all of the Buxom products. And then I had gotten 2 packages from Kaja, and I think that these were the last packages I got from them, which just breaks my heart because then some people got access to their forms and sent them out, and then Kaja said, screw y'all, you're not getting anything anymore. So now I have no idea how to even contact them or anything, which is a bummer because they've had some pretty fun releases. But I do have lip swatch video with these as well. These are the Love Blur lip balms, and this is the color Sweet Bestie. I have gotten rid of all of mine. Again, this is not necessarily a me kind of product. Let me swatch, 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 swatch. There we go. And then I will do 1, 2. So you can see the difference in the pigment. And this is okay. I mean, I don't find this balmy at all. I don't feel like this is hydrating. I think that this can look a little bit patchy if you try to build it up. It does have that silicone texture, but in kind of a dry way. And I wanted to compare it to something else that is similar. This is Jouer Demi Matte Lip Balm in Sororité, and this is a light color as well, but let me swatch it. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like I did this one, and then 1, 2. So it has more pigment, and this one is a little bit more hydrating, a little creamier, but still has that demi matte finish, and it's not patchy. And I wanted to compare these two light shades so that you can see it's not really because of the color, it's the formula. So I just don't think that this one is as good as this, which is why I've decluttered all of these. And honestly, I'm not even in love with the Jouer formula. I just don't necessarily wear matte lippies anymore. And if I'm gonna wear a balm, I'm gonna just like want it to be glossy. And if I want something matte, I'll wear just a lipstick. You know what I mean? But again, I do think different for their brand and makes sense with a lot of K-beauty trends. And then they came out with 2 new shades in their Beauty Bento eyeshadows, and what was amazing is because they also sent all the other shades that were available at the time that were permanent. They actually just came out with 2 new shades a couple months ago, which is exciting, and I would have wanted to try them but not enough to buy them. So let me show you guys the colors here. This is Taro Bubble Tea. So you have this chunky shimmer, then you have a fine shimmer, and then you have a regular matte. Then the other one is called Cold Brew España. I guess that's part of the name because there isn't, you know, Spanish writing on the other one. Chunky shimmer, fine shimmer, and matte. So I do think that these are quite nice. The chunky shade is very chunky, but I do think that this is a pretty good formula because the 2 shades that they released the year before, Forest Night and something else that was coral, those were awful. The chunky shade was so chunky and the matte had glitter in it. Y'all know those are like my least favorite finishes, so I couldn't stand those. So I was happy to see that these were just a regular matte, but that is the issue with these Kaja stacks, is because each time they come out with new shades, it has a different formula. So I think the best ones that they've done would be a couple years before that when they launched these 2, which would be my all-time favorite, Peach Madeline and then Mauve Bouquet, which is something I was able to get in this set, which was really exciting. So you do have that chunky shimmer, but for some reason, it's not quite as wet or as thick on the lid, because these can look a little thick on the lid, and for some reason, this was just a little bit better. Oh no, and then I broke this one somehow, but there's the fine shimmer. Of course, I broke the one that was my favorite. And then just a regular matte. Then we've got Peach Madeline. So a chunky one, but not quite as thick. Fine shimmer and regular matte. Love. And then we have 2 different all matte quads. This is the one that's, and then you have 2 all matte stacks. This is one that is a little bit warmer called Velvet Dream. The beigey color. I love that shade. It's almost like an apricot. And then darker warm brown. And then you have just a couple that were all shimmer, but I think a lot of these have been discontinued. This one is Rosewater. And these are all just the fine shimmer, not the chunk. And I think this is a nice formula. So I think that their matte formula is good, but not amazing, which when I use these, I usually just pair it with like 1 or 2 other mattes. But for a simple look, I'll just use that matte by itself and use a fluffy blending brush for my, you know, transition color, and then I will pack it on more in the crease outer corner, and it works perfectly. But yeah, honestly, as a whole, I would say that there's just better eyeshadows out there, but I do love Peach Madeline and Mauve Bouquet, but just proceed with caution because the formulas are a little bit iffy. Then I did get a Lawless package, so it had some of the lip products in there, but those were all repeats, so I'm just going to talk about their cream blushes today. The Pinch My Cheeks, there were 6 shades. I decluttered 3, the 2 pink colors and the red, and then I kept the other 3. So this is Starburst, which is like a peachy orange, or an orangey peach I should say, because it's a lighter color. Rosebud, pretty mauve color. And then we have Angel, which is a little bit of like a peachy pink color. And these are nice and pigmented. They're creamy. They do have a soft matte finish that can be blurring, but I don't know if you can see there. These also can get a little bit patchy, and some people say yes, some people say no. So I say to use a light hand and build up. So I don't have to deal with the patchiness, the potential patchiness, do tend to use these before I've set my skin with powder, but I think the colors are very pretty. I think that the formula is nice because it does dry down matte, but just know there is potential for it to be finicky. Lastly, we have What's Up Beauty. So I contacted them to see if they would be open to sending me their Egyptian Queen collection, and they said yes. Elena is so kind and generous with me. And this collection had 3 lipsticks, 2 liquid liners, and then in their packages they were sending people just random extras, and a couple people had gotten palettes, but I got something I wanted so bad, and it was the best surprise ever, and that would be their Serengeti highlights, which come in 2 shades. So the lighter one is called Wild Acacia, so you can see you have like a white color and then pink, and it has just like the most amazing embossing, and they have great packaging. I mean, they are worth every single penny, all the attention to detail that they have. And this is Sunset Safari, which is my favorite. So this is a little bit more of like a goldeny champagne and then like a goldeny pink. Obsessed. So good. Very metallic, but not chunky, just very fine and smooth. They blend nicely. Absolutely, absolutely recommend. Love them so much. Then for the liquid liners, one of them was called Coquette, and it was just a matte black. I just passed it on to a friend because I don't need it. But this is the packaging. It's so pretty and textured. This is Naboo, which is a multi-chrome green. And it is a brush applicator, as you can see. It's actually kind of like a silicone tip, which is nice and makes it easy to clean if you were to use this on other people, and you don't have to worry about it fraying. So here is what this looks like. Really cool and unique, which is why I have held on to it. And I didn't love the black one as much because for me, I am very, I guess, messy when I apply my liquid liner, and when there is like this Wells type like this, it's very liquidy, and I feel like I'm not skilled enough to use it because I get so much of it in my lashes that when I try to like brush it out or apply mascara, it makes a mess, which is user error on my part. But the quality is amazing. It was great. Very pigmented matte black liner. And I think that this applicator is fantastic. Now I cannot remember if it was a silicone tip on the black shade as well. I'll have to ask Elena, but I would imagine it was the same packaging. But this is a great length, a great shape that is so good for lining the eye and creating a wing. So phenomenal product, and again, so unique and amazing that she was able to create that. And then we have 3 lipsticks, and it is just the same amazing packaging, and it's magnetic. Then you have this. I hope you guys can see. I'll zoom in. You have freaking hieroglyphics on here. That is so special. These are so beautiful. So let me swatch them. Sorry if the swatches are going to be all over the place. This is Eye of Raw, very pigmented satin formula. I find it to be very comfortable though. It's not drying. And I would love to see them come out with more lipsticks in the future. Some more like mauve shades or nudes. And then this is called Seba. Actually, I'm wrong. It is not the lightest color. It's just a little bit more mauve. And then the last color is Ankh. And that is the last one there, which would be so gorgeous on deep skin tones. So I think these are definitely special and worth picking up. So those are my thoughts on all the things I brought into my life last year. I would love to hear your thoughts on these products, and I would love to know if you are still interested in these series or if I should just like call it quits and just stick to doing my like monthly reviews of the new things that I've tried. Let me know your thoughts. But I want to thank y'all so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye guys.